Security being the last leg of his team's agenda, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has taken security of lives and property of residents as his priority right from the day of his inauguration as the 15th governor of Lagos State. On the show today, we will explore the activities of the Rapid Response Squad. I'm Adedoja Salam Adeniyi. You're welcome to the show. Lagos, with more than 24 million people, security plays a vital role in the state. Thousands of security operatives man the state 24/7 to reduce crime to the bare minimum. Aside from the regular police, Lagos also created security agencies to keep the mega city safe. Rapid Response Squad (RRS) is one of the agencies. RRS is an arm of the Lagos State Police Command set up to respond speedily to emergencies within the state. It was referred to as Operation Sweep during the Buba Marwa military administration and later restructured and renamed Rapid Response Squad by the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. To make this police unit and others effective, Lagos set aside Security Trust Fund. The Lagos State Security Trust Fund, LSSTF, was established by a law of the Lagos State House of Assembly in September 2007 as a direct response to the security challenges in the state. The trust fund sourced for funds from government, private organizations and individuals in order to meet the operational capacity needs of security agencies, particularly in the areas of logistics and provision of crime-fighting equipment in the effective discharge of their duties. This is because security agencies have suffered long years of neglect by the federal government, whose primary responsibility is to fund them. 13 years after, the trust fund is still very relevant and has made huge impact.
The Lagos State government, working with the Security Trust Fund, are going to redesign even our security architecture. And what do I mean? We're going to be building, like we've promised, right, a smart city project. We will be using technology as a strong enabler to be able to ensure that this state, your state, the center of excellence, remain safe, remain responsive, and remain a place where people can do real business.
Citizens must not forget that security is on the exclusive preserve of our constitution. And so whatever the state government is doing, particularly the Lagos State Security Trust Fund, is just an interventionist agency. We cannot carry all the burden of our entire security apparatus in Lagos State. But whatever we do, we have a population of 21 million people. If we had just about 1 million or 2 million people donating 1,000 naira, that's about 2 billion naira. There's a lot we can do. We can inject a lot of facilities and a lot of equipment into our security forces.
And the baton has always been passed from one administration to another in Lagos State. RRS was charged with the task of flushing crime out of every part of Lagos State. Today, the squad comprises of about 2,000 officers that do the shift system every day. At the inception of his administration, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu had promised to strengthen security across the state to justify the donations being made to LSSTF by public-spirited individuals and corporate organizations. The governor, who is stepping up his game by using technology to fight crime, said his administration will spare no efforts in protecting lives of residents and corporate assets within the state, stressing that provision of security in all communities in the state remained at the center of the effort being put forward by his administration to transform the state economy to be 21st century compliant. Upon assumption of office, Governor Sanwo-Olu donated equipment worth millions of naira to security agencies.
It's the people that were meant to be protected. It's the people that were meant to be given hope where there seems to be no hope. It's the people that are vulnerable, that probably cannot take care of themselves. And we that are here, that have given the instrumentality of governance to be able to not abuse it, to not take it for granted, that everything that we need to do to ensure that our paramount responsibility, which is the security of life and property, is not only critical to us, but it's something that we will not be paying lip service to.
He also visits them to boost their morale.
Nigerians expect so much from our part, and by extension, because you are part of us, they expect also so much from you. Our work as your political head, the primary rule is security of life and property. It's so paramount, it's so important, it's so imperative for us to continue to do it. Let us raise the bar of policing. Let us raise the bar of customer service. The citizens are also your customers. Let us see civility in the way and manner you also go ahead to discharge your duty. The ones that are criminal minded that we need to flush out, I'm sure you will not shy from taking decisive action with that one. But the ones that you can make corrective measures, let us correct them.
I am curious to know how this squad works. Our first port of call was the helipad section of the Lagos airport. My producer and I went through a security check at the central screening point. Olatunji Disu is the commander.
Good morning. How you doing?
We wear our reflective safety jackets. This is where the squad takes off for air surveillance. We are traveling in this Airbus 5N RRS. There are cult clashes that need to be nipped in the bud.
We are going out for specific to assist our officers on the ground in the Ikorodu, Ijede, where we have cult activities going on.
All right, let's go there.
Thank you. I'll come in first.
We airlift. But the pilots turned back. The weather was not favorable. The Harmattan haze made visibility so poor. I engaged the commander. What has changed so far? I mean, from the previous administration to Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration?
Yes.
In your command?
Yes, presently when this governor came, almost within 2-3 weeks, he has visited men of the Rapid Response Squad. He met them personally to ask them their problems and what they would want him to do. And then almost everything, almost all the requests from the men, he has been able to do it for them.
Like
the last one was providing them all their new accoutrements, new uniforms, from the boots to everything they would need to put on as policemen. He promised to put in new vehicles for us, and then we now have new vehicles. He has been able to infuse new patrol vehicles for men of the Rapid Response Squad. And then talking about the allowance, he has cleared all the allowance of the men, and he promised them for every good achievement, he is going to reward them.
I want to know if government still compensates those who die in active service. I know the previous administration do pay the sum of 10 million naira to dependents.
Yes, the government still pay. This year they have paid at least 2 families of those who lost their loved ones in the Rapid Response Squad. Last year we lost about 7 men in the Rapid Response Squad. We still have some in the hospital. Daily, we check the blood pressure of the men before we deploy them for activities. And I can authoritatively tell you that the average blood pressure of our men is about 180. So it's on the alarming scale. We have the medicals, the medical team with them every day at the parade ground, who decide who and who is fit to go out on duty.
Down here, all roads lead to Ajegunle.
Have a ride with me.
All right, thank you, sir. Now, let's talk about training of personnel. How often do you do that, and where do they have their trainings?
The funny thing is, in the Rapid Response Squad, we don't joke with training. At least every year, we have nothing less than 4 or 5 trainings already scheduled for the officers. The last one we did last year was a training on arms handling, where we brought in experts from the mobile units, MOPO 49, and then we had the privilege of calling the Commissioner of Police in charge of Federal SARS, who came and spoke to the men on the new arms handling order.
Ajegunle, popularly known as AJ City, is a small neighborhood situated in the heart of Ajeromi Felodun local government area. A slum which produced several notable football and music personalities has been a nest for criminal activities in recent times, especially cultism.
But this is where we call boundary in Ajegunle. This is almost the center of activity in Ajegunle. This is one of the hottest spots in Lagos.
So how do you manage crime around here?
You can see that we have patrol vehicles on the ground, always on the ground here in Ajegunle. The liaise with the Ajegunle police station, assist in patrolling all nooks and crannies of Ajegunle.
Tell us more about the drone surveillance.
In the Rapid Response Squad, we have a number of drones, and we deploy them on a number of occasions. We deploy them when we are doing search and rescue. We have had a mishap on the waters. We need to rescue people on the waters. We deploy our drones. But in this particular instance, we are in boundary. We are in Ajegunle, densely populated area. We cannot penetrate all the nooks and crannies at the same time. We need to be able to stay in a particular area and see what is happening.
Drone surveillance is to penetrate all the nook and crannies in the absence of the helicopter. It is to gather aerial information. We engaged some of the residents.
The major bad elements are not being disturbed. But you see Okada men and drivers, people who do their legitimate duties, being disturbed by a policeman. Collection of their vehicles, collection of money. However, we are community members who know the major areas.
I called the attention of the commander to the allegations. This is the commander RRS, Olatunji Disu.
No, I think you see the RRS operatives, very diligent men the ones we see around. I'm talking about our local police here because the RRS we come and go. But we're talking about policemen that are residents here in Ajegule.
What kind of improvement do you want?
The kind of improvement we want is this. We want the police authorities at the level of Mr. The CPO Odimosu, a fine gentleman. Let them call their men to order. You don't accord people on their legitimate duties. Let them go to the major Igbo joints. Let them go to the major bad spots and raid bad eggs.
We are here to assist the local police here, bring down their crime rate as much as possible. We'll work out on it, we'll check it out.
Though everywhere is calm for now, it's if the government will put more effort, things will get better.
RRS, they used to come to Bandri to monitor what is going on. When there is no peace, they used to come to put peace in Bandri. Yeah. So I'm happy meeting you people today. Bandri, Ajegule, I love Ajegule. And Ajegule is beautiful.
On our way to the RRS office, we passed through the 3rd Melon Bridge. This bridge is about 11.8 kilometers long. To prevent traffic robbery and other vices, RRS vehicles are stationed in strategic areas of Lagos. On this bridge, there are police cabins donated by the LSSTF. Raphael Ebaji is the inspector in charge of the 3rd Melon Bridge.
Our primary responsibility here at the 3rd Melon Bridge is to protect lives and property. But at times we go extra mile. Like when there are broken down vehicles, we give them coverage. We make sure that they fix their car and take it away. But when the situation is worse, that they can't fix it here, we get towing van for them and we tow it outside the more safer place like Iyanogoro or their mechanic workshop. And at times when there is accident, we make sure that we give them coverage before the arrival of emergency. And we help them to call emergency. To ensure that it's very critical, we make sure that we rush the sick ones to the hospital before the arrival of the emergency. At times in the night, we make sure that most of the people that are passing here, we try to know their missions. Because some people will use their leg to break here at that night. We try to know their mission. Caution them. We are robbery on the axis. We make sure that it doesn't happen within our jurisdiction here. Except it is very far away from us. And when they call us and give us info, we move the vehicle as fast as possible. We rush to that place. If it is very far from our jurisdiction, we make sure that we move to that place after making our call. God bless you. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
The sun is setting. We need to hurry up for the night duty. Back to RRS Alausa office, we prepare for the night patrol.
Put on your helmet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. It doesn't like.
So what do you call this night's operation?
It is two things rolled into one. Surveillance, show of force, and even an attempt to pick this suspect in action if it is very possible.
But in case of emergency, please don't hesitate to dial the free toll lines 112 or 767. On our way. It's about 10 p.m.
Maybe what is your love or anything? I love my job. It's very difficult, time consuming. You don't have time for members of your family. You don't have time for your immediate family. But what you do to members of the public always comes back to you. Nigerians are wonderful people. You can't do anything for Nigerians without them giving you a word of prayer also. Emboss.
This is Gida at Ojota, another flashpoint for criminal activities. You have to wait here while
we'll wait for them to give us feedback. Yes.
And they'll come back and
give us the feedback.
They went in one after the other.
They went in one after in line. They formed the line and entered. There is a leader. They know the room they are going to. So they are already sent. Yes, surveillance have been here. They know the exact room they are going to. So we just wait for them to do their search, come down.
We have searched most of the areas that we suspected that we have incriminating items, but all the search done carried out, nothing incriminating was found. So we are satisfied. So that is why we are back.
Thank you.
After the operation, we made a stop at the command headquarters. Commissioner of Police is still busy in his office as at 1 a.m. when we arrived. Hakeem Odumosu is the 36th Commissioner of Police in Lagos State. He was the RRS commander between 2007 and 2015 and has held several positions in the force. I told him the allegation of police harassment and extortion at the Ajegunle area.
The issue of my boys being high-handed, so my men now collecting money, extorting now, all those ones are just baseless allegations. So in order just to tarnish the image. But we are not deterred. We shall continue to go after lawless people in the society.
The CP told us how he's been tackling cultism in the state.
The Awawa boys, the 1 million boys, so the no salary boys, so where they are. And that is Agege side. We arrested many of them. In the first ordnance operation now, we arrested 447 of them. And after the screening, about 15 of them were screened out, because in that operation now, people will come. Then 394 were charged to court out of that 447. And so with evidences of some we recover guns, some we recover cutlasses, some we recover broken bottles now, some we recover cartons of bottles we wanted to use to fight. So with all those evidences presented in court now, 296 of them were convicted. And the best thing is not just getting people now, getting them conviction. So that conviction now will deter, one, the people now, and secondly, will make the members of the public know that justice has been done.
In his parting message, he had a note of warning for traffic offenders, especially those using unauthorized number plates.
There are so many vehicles applying the road highway without registered plate numbers. Some deliberately with their criminal intention, the plate numbers are covered. Some they just put escorts. Some they just put, they want to put Mr. Dog as their own. So the law permits customize it, let it be from road safety, let it be from Lagos State, so agency that registers vehicles. So we are appealing to members of the public. So the conscience of law-abiding people now, they must not operate with cover plate number, they must not operate so with that plate number, they must not operate with unregistered, unlicensed, so inscription. Pilot is not licensed, not the registration number. Escort, no registration number. Driving against traffic now is an abomination in Lagos State.
It's been a long day with the Rapid Response Squad. Right from the Lagos State Police Command, we draw the curtains onto this edition of Inside Lagos. Safety and security don't just happen. They are the result of collective consensus and public investment, says the late sage Nelson Mandela. Please do play your role, and if you see something, say something. Thank you so much, Commander RRS, for coming up on the show. We really appreciate you.
The pleasure was ours.
Thank you, Amade Doja. Salam Adini. See you next week. Bye-bye.